Hello and welcome to another episode of Humans in 5.
We've had some questions from our viewers on what exactly it is that we do in biological anthropology. So, this week we're on a mission to clarify just what it is that Michelle and I do as biological anthropologists.
Anthropology quite literally means the study of humans, a pretty broad field. Happily, you can break that down into a number of subfields. The biggest division between subfields falls between evolutionary and cultural components.
The cultural subfields in anthropology include cultural anthropology and linguistics. Both of these subfields examine the variation in human communities, behavior, and communication. Studies in these areas integrate political, social, and economic perspectives on how communities differ around the world. Methods used in these subfields can be applied to and related to lots of other social sciences like psychology, sociology, international relations, and education.
The evolutionary or scientific subfields in anthropology can be broadly split into biological anthropology and archaeology. Biological anthropology uses the scientific method to survey human biological variation. Ultimately, biological anthropologists want to understand how and why humans vary so much on a biological level.
Think about it. Every human on this planet is a member of the same species, but we look different, respond differently to diseases, have different arm and leg lengths, and are able to live in diverse environments. That's some pretty complex variation for one species.
On the other hand, we have archaeology. Archaeology is the study of communities that existed in the past. This field studies every aspect of a community: people, living situations, objects, interactions between communities, both good and bad, and how all of these factors have changed over time.
Both biological anthropology and archaeology can be further subdivided into lots of really narrow specialties, defined by time period, such as Iron Age or medieval, geographic area, like North American or South Asian, or even method of study, such as using digital models of objects or looking in detail at soil samples.
Sarah Louise and I work in a fairly popular specialty in biological anthropology known as skeletal biology. This means that we use information from the human skeleton to tell us about human biological variation. The skeleton is one of the very few biological components that's preserved from people who died in the past. So studying the variation in skeletal forms from the past gives us a lot of information about human variation.
Even though both of our research areas focus on the human skeleton, we look at different aspects of it. My work looks at the skeleton in living people, how it changes as we grow. That means I've incorporated a lot of information and analytical methods from medicine, nutrition, and child growth.
Quite a lot of my work has focused on the skeletons of people who lived during the last 10,000 years of the later Stone Age in southern Africa. While I'm studying skeletal variation, I draw on ideas from ecology, archaeology, and even in physiology.
Now, just because we use scientific methods to examine topics in biological anthropology and archaeology, it doesn't mean that we never consider cultural elements. As we've said many times before here on Humans in 5, human life happens at the intersection of biology and culture. One always impacts on the other. That means both of us also use data on human behavior and language to provide context for our biological work.
We both love biological anthropology for the huge range of topics we can cover within it. Humans are complex animals, so it's only fair to use a broad range of methods to understand us from the inside out.
We hope today's episode has cleared up any bones of contention, and we'll see you next time on Humans in 5.
And don't forget to subscribe.